Have you ever heard of a king who tried to erase all the gods of his people and replace them with just one? A pharaoh who ordered temples to be shut down, statues destroyed, and even changed his own name to reflect his new beliefs? This man wasn't just any ruler. He was Akhenaten, possibly the most mysterious and controversial figure in all of ancient Egypt. His reign was short but explosive. He challenged everything Egyptians believed in for thousands of years. And then, just as suddenly as he appeared, he was erased from history. Let's explore the strange world of Akhenaten with 10 powerful facts that reveal how this pharaoh truly changed Egypt forever. Number 10. He wasn't born Akhenaten. Akhenaten was originally named Amenhotep IV. He was born into one of the wealthiest and most powerful periods in ancient Egyptian history during the 18th dynasty. His father, Amenhotep III, ruled Egypt during a golden age filled with wealth, diplomacy, and massive building projects. Young Amenhotep IV was expected to follow in his father's footsteps and continue the traditions of honoring the many Egyptian gods, especially Amun, who had become the most important deity. But something changed. After just a few years on the throne, he shocked the kingdom by abandoning the old religion. He renamed himself Akhenaten, which means effective for the Aten. This marked the beginning of one of the biggest religious shifts in Egyptian history. Number 9. He believed in only one god. Unlike other Egyptian pharaohs who worshipped a whole group of gods, Akhenaten focused on just one, Aten, the sun disk. To him, Aten wasn't just another god in the crowd. Aten was the only god. Akhenaten started removing the names of other gods from temples and monuments. He told priests to stop praying to the old gods like Amun, Osiris, and Ra. It was shocking. Egypt had always believed in many gods who controlled everything from the Nile's flooding to life after death. But Akhenaten preached that Aten alone gave life to everything through sunlight. His new belief system is often called one of the earliest forms of monotheism. Whether he truly believed in Aten or just wanted to take religious power away from the priests of Amun, it's clear that his move changed Egypt in ways no one expected. Number 8. He closed temples and fired priests. Once Akhenaten shifted his focus to Aten, he didn't just introduce a new god. He destroyed the foundations of Egypt's powerful religious system. He closed temples across the country and shut down centuries-old practices. Priests of Amun lost their jobs, their status, and their income. Since temples controlled a lot of land and wealth, this was a big blow to Egypt's economy and social structure. Akhenaten's rule became extremely unpopular among religious leaders and even the general public. People were used to giving offerings to many gods in exchange for protection and blessings. Now, they were told their gods were false and that only the sun disk mattered. It was confusing, risky, and deeply upsetting for many Egyptians. Number 7. He built a new capital city from scratch. Akhenaten didn't want to rule from the traditional Egyptian capitals like Thebes. Instead, he chose an empty piece of desert land and ordered the construction of a brand new city. He called it Akhenaten, meaning horizon of the Aten. Today, the ruins of this city are known as Amarna. This wasn't just a few buildings. It was a fully planned city with temples, palaces, houses, and government buildings. Everything was built quickly, and the art from this time shows Akhenaten and his family worshipping Aten in open-air temples, with sun rays shining down on them. The city was made to focus entirely on Aten and to separate the royal family from the old traditions. It became the heart of his religious revolution. But after his death, Akhenaten was abandoned, almost like it never existed. Number 6. His art style was strange and unique. If you look at statues and carvings from Akhenaten's time, they look totally different from the usual images of Egyptian kings. Traditional pharaohs were shown with strong jaws, broad shoulders, and perfect bodies. Akhenaten, on the other hand, was portrayed with a long face, wide hips, a soft belly, and even an elongated neck. His wife Nefertiti and their daughters were also shown in unusual poses, often hugging, kissing, or playing. Some historians believe this was a more realistic style of art. Others think Akhenaten had a medical condition that caused his body to look different. Another idea is that the art was symbolic, showing the pharaoh as both male and female to reflect the belief that Aten is the source of all life, male and female combined. Whatever the reason, this new art style made his reign stand out in a big way. Number 5. He may have been Tutankhamun's father. One of the biggest mysteries surrounding Akhenaten is his connection to the famous boy king Tutankhamun. While the family tree of Egypt's 18th dynasty is still debated, many scholars believe that Akhenaten was Tutankhamun's father. DNA testing of royal mummies in 2010 revealed that the heretic king, Akhenaten, was very likely the biological father of Tutankhamun. What makes this even more interesting is that Tutankhamun spent most of his short reign undoing everything his father had done. He brought back the old gods, reopened temples, and moved the capital back to Thebes. He even changed his name from Tutankhaten to Tutankhamun, swapping out Aten for Amen to show that the old religion was back. It's like Egypt hit the undo button after Akhenaten's rule. Number 4. Nefertiti was more than just a queen. Nefertiti, Akhenaten's chief wife, is one of the most famous women in ancient history. Her beauty is legendary, thanks to the iconic bust of her found in Amarna. But she wasn't just a pretty face. During Akhenaten's reign, Nefertiti held a lot of power. She appeared in religious ceremonies, ruled alongside her husband, and may have even ruled Egypt briefly after his death under the name Nefertiti. Some historians believe she played a major role in spreading the worship of Aten and controlling court politics. Her sudden disappearance from historical records is still a mystery. Was she pushed aside? Did she die, or did she take over under a new name? No one knows for sure, but it's clear she was a key figure in this strange chapter of Egyptian history. Number 3. He was erased from history. After Akhenaten died, the priests and rulers who came after him were quick to erase any trace of him. His city was abandoned, his temples were destroyed, and his name was scratched off monuments. Later pharaohs called him the criminal and tried to pretend he never existed. In ancient Egypt, being forgotten was worse than death. They believed a person lived on in the afterlife only if their name was remembered. So removing Akhenaten's name was like a second death. For a long time, historians didn't even know he existed. It wasn't until the 1800s, when archaeologists began uncovering the ruins of Amarna, that Akhenaten's story started coming back to light. Even now, pieces of the puzzle are still missing. Number 2. He might have been a religious genius or a madman. Historians still argue about Akhenaten's motives. Was he a spiritual visionary who truly believed in a single god and tried to guide his people toward a new truth? Or was he a power-hungry king who wanted to break the power of the priests and control religion himself? Some think he was ahead of his time, trying to introduce a new way of thinking. Others believe he was completely disconnected from reality and let Egypt weaken under his rule. The truth might lie somewhere in the middle. His ideas didn't last, but the fact that he tried such a huge shift at all shows he was willing to challenge thousands of years of tradition. It takes either deep belief or incredible boldness. Number 1. His legacy still shapes how we view religion and power. Even though Akhenaten's religious experiment didn't survive long after his death, it made a huge impact. Some historians and religious scholars see connections between Akhenaten's monotheism and later religious ideas in Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. While there's no solid proof that these ideas came directly from Akhenaten, the similarities are hard to ignore. He was one of the first known rulers to claim that there is only one God who is everywhere and sees everything. His rule shows how religion and politics can be deeply tied together, and how one person's vision can shape or shake an entire civilization. Whether you think he was a genius, a tyrant, or something in between, Akhenaten left behind a story that still fascinates people thousands of years later. So there you have it, the wild and puzzling story of Pharaoh Akhenaten, the king who tried to change everything and was nearly wiped from memory for it. His rule was short, but his impact still echoes through history. If you found this story as strange and fascinating as we did, make sure to like this video, share it with your friends, And hit that subscribe button for more stories from the past that still shape our world today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.